Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Hello everyone, and welcome for the as seen on the big screen for The Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies. One last time, I'm your host, Cleo, or Thorin. And with me I have John. Pat Michelle.
Hi.
And Dom.
Hello!
What's up, guys?
I'm definitely decked out in some Lord of the Rings attire right now. I'm one of the peasant people.
Yeah.
You're one of the men of Laketown.
I have-
Good job. You nailed it.
I brought my Legos.
I brought pop vinyls. All of them.
Where's the dragons? Where's the dragons?
They're off screen. They're gonna come out in a second. They're shy.
They're shy.
How did you guys like this movie?
Oh, it was good. Very, very well done.
Amazing.
Very well done.
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yes.
If I asked for your unhonest opinion, you'd still give me your honest opinion, Dom.
That's true. I liked the movie from an action standpoint, but and I mean the story was good too, but I always have trouble with prequels. I really do. I can never enjoy them because I'm sitting there watching going, this character, no matter what danger he's in, I know he survived. Stop putting him in danger. Like, it ruins the movie for me. Like, Legolas, how many times was he put in danger? And we see him in Lord of the Rings, and it's like, he's on the brink of death every time, and then he narrowly escapes, and it's like, it's not even convincing to me, because I'm like, he's gonna get out of it. I can't get over that, and it's not just this movie, it's every prequel ever.
I could see that.
I just really have an issue with prequels.
I mean, it's really just him, though.
I was fine with everything to the drawn-out ending to a certain extent.
Some scenes go on too long, but I mean that's Lord of the Rings.
I mean, yeah,
part
John,
about
it's a
the
little bit Legolas, but there's also Bilbo and Gandalf, and it's like I know how their story turns out. So,
Yeah, but I mean, what are they not going to fight?
no, I know, but it's just it's frustrating to me as a viewer standpoint.
Well, their lives weren't really ever in like
peril,
danger. Yeah. Legolas, they threw him into like everything.
Yeah.
Of course, he's one of those like stronghold characters. They're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how he is, so of course they'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, Gandalf's constantly in danger anyway. It's
Yeah.
part of being a wizard.
He can get himself out of anything.
The one thing that they did surprise me on was that what's her name?
Tauriel?
Who?
Tauriel?
Yeah, that she didn't die.
I knew it. See, I knew that would get you.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that they surprised me on.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk more about her later.
So cool.
But we start off in Laketown with a very pissed off dragon. Like, they waste absolutely no time.
No, zero.
We
I
start-
mean, they couldn't because they
Yeah,
finished that
there's no
way in the
time.
last movie. It's not like they could do like this whole setup again. They did it already.
No flashbacks, no nothing, just a fucking dragon.
Two of them.
Two of them.
There's two
And,
dragons?
It was interesting because they started, the very first line in the movie is actually delivered by the Master. I thought that was interesting.
This is true.
Not by Bard, not by, any of our main characters, but by the Master.
Right.
Yep.
Save the gold!
I'll be dead soon.
How about Bard, guys? Fucking ninja Assassin's Creeding across the roofs.
Awesome.
He was Assassin's Creeding those roofs.
Yeah, literally.
He's a
Saving
half-elf.
the effing day.
Yep.
Word.
Word. Yes.
Yeah, I think he was kind of cool. I liked he was the one that with the kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
The kid holding up the bow and arrow, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Don't move. Yes, I love it.
Yeah, his son Bane
His son was
stood there as a human
petrified.
bow. A little to the left.
Freaking out.
Yeah, that whole scene was actually really cool, but I my suspension of disbelief is always like that ridiculous. That's like the Death Star shot all over again, but this one is harder than the Death Star shot. Like, you have a moving
because he doesn't
target.
have the force.
Well, yeah, you have a moving target. You have one scale on an entire dragon that's missing, and you're able to launch a harpoon through it. Like,
To be fair, it's probably a double fist-sized scale that's missing.
right?
Yeah, he is a dragon.
Pretty big scale, but yeah, no, totally. It's
Well, it's better than the book, because the book he just shot a regular arrow, and it was like, oh, well, dragon's dead.
yeah.
You know? So,
Okay, I'll give him
was
that.
I don't know about
I'm sure.
any of you, but I assumed that he was going to have to get to the Windlands that was on top of the Masters building.
Mhm.
yeah.
That was the machine that his ancestor used to shoot the scale off in the first place.
Mhm.
I didn't think that MacGyvering a bow was going to work.
I mean, we had talked about this in the previous podcast about how this all comes to be and everything. And so I knew he was going to shoot him with the arrow. But then when he reached into the quiver and pulled out nothing, I was like, uh-oh, now what?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, they set it up in Desolation to be like this special, this big hunkin' special arrow is what's going to take down the dragon.
yeah.
So I don't think it was too much of a
What
stretch.
exactly was it? It looked like a weather vane or something.
Yeah, it was an iron arrow basically.
Yeah.
It's a giant iron arrow.
It was kind of a javelin.
A javelin, yeah.
You
it
really
was
think of it that way. It was
the
pretty
size
much a
of a javelin.
javelin.
Yeah. So, oh my God, Alfred. Is he not like the biggest
Just, I don't know.
fucking asshole?
Which one was Alfred?
He was the worm tongue of this movie.
The master's little servant man.
Oh, the
Every
one.
3 seconds, let me point at somebody else being a jackass,
Yup.
and I'm the greatest.
Yep.
Every time he's told to do
Yeah, that
something, he
guy.
pawns it off on someone else.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he's a
Some
wimp.
old lady.
He's a coward. A coward and a loser.
Yeah, I'm
But-
surprised like nobody just decked him.
Oh
he
man,
just wanted his gold.
I punch him.
I don't even know what he wants. I'm like expecting some extended scene in the end of not in the end. I'm expecting some extended scene in the extended edition.
Now,
Oh,
have they
Like-
released extended editions for the other two yet?
Yes, they have.
They have.
Mm-hmm.
How long were those movies extended to?
Oh, I don't know, but they went from the theatrical releases for the first two were 160 minutes,
Oh wow.
and I'm not sure what the extended.
Were they significant, or
Probably
were
quite
they
a
like
bit.
5
Probably
minutes?
significant.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings were significant. They were like added hours onto the movie.
Oh, like I
the
recall
Lord of the
it
Rings.
a half
Actually,
hour.
they're not that significant.
Really?
Unexpected Journey had 13 minutes. Desolation had 25.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings only had like a half hour of extended footage.
Yeah.
From that home here. I think one had like 40 minutes.
No, there's like the extended and there's like the really extended.
The really extended.
There's no really extended. There's just
The really extended one.
Mm-mm. Extend.
The extremely really extended one is
There's no
next.
extremely really extended.
That's in his mind.
It's just the
I
regular.
thought there was like the box sets and then there was like the ones that were even. No, that's probably
It's
behind the
just
scenes
special
footage.
edition.
That's why.
And special.
Yeah,
It's
no,
the
those
super
were-
extended,
those were
really
released-
long extra version.
Yes.
Those
Yeah.
were just released
Yeah.
in Blu-ray. They didn't add
we
anything.
mean
They
it
probably had
this time.
extra features.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably what it was. Sorry, I got
Because
Because
confused.
No, it's okay.
I haven't purchased the other two Hobbits yet because I'm waiting for the I'm waiting for this one to come out on Blu-ray, so I could buy the box set.
It's 3. We're gonna wait
So-
till this one comes out.
Yeah, I'm gonna pair the box set.
I.
What do we think about? So Smaug had sort of like a one-sided conversation with Bard. Bard said absolutely nothing back.
Yeah.
Smaug was just talking at him.
He's taunting him. He's provoking him.
Yeah.
But he was insolent, little Bard.
Did not work.
No, it sure didn't.
What do we think about how he died?
It's rather sudden.
Yeah.
I really like the whole
Is-
light going out in his eyes and as he just fell.
I like that
And
he
everything
fell.
was just silent.
I like that he fell onto that boat carrying the people.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Master.
Yep,
John, you just read
Ain't
The
walking away
Hobbit,
from that.
correct?
I did. Yes, very recently.
Does the Master die?
He does, but not like that.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, no, the Master doesn't die. I'm sorry, he doesn't die.
Okay.
He lived. He
Yeah.
basically kind of just rescinded control, like, because the way it turned out in the book is that they're like, King Bard! And the Bard's like, whoa, hey, the Master still runs the place. You know, let him be, like, the true Master, but if you want me to, like, lead this recovery, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But you don't really hear much from the Master besides that. That he basically he does basically kind of get the hell out of Dodge because he wants nothing to do with any of this rebuilding and nonsense. So
Yeah, and people by that time see him for the fraud that he is.
He's a shame.
But in
yeah, I mean,
in this
he has no respect.
yeah, they kill the Master. And Bard still refuses to be like Lord or leader or king. Well, I mean, he leads.
Mhm.
He leads, obviously, but he refuses to be king. So there's no Master, there's no king.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just going to be like a democracy of sorts until
And
The Mayor.
It's going to be an anarchy of sorts.
is the Maya. I mean, it's not an anarchy because Bard is still leading.
Yeah.
He's not got a title, but they all flock to him, and he really took up like that.
His title's the Dragon Slayer.
Leadership role.
I'll take that.
So to speak.
Well, Bard was the old not Bard. Alfred and Thorin were the only ones who really called him Dragon Slayer.
Right. It's good enough for me,
And
though.
I think and the difference of the book is I think Alfred kind of took the Master's place in, like, where the Master was still alive in the book. I think Alfred kind of took his place in the movie, sort of,
Yeah, definitely.
and to a degree. So
Which is super weird because I mean they made Alfred up.
yeah, I think it was probably just easier to make him like a douchebag. So like
He wasn't in the book at all?
No,
no.
he's the original
Not at all.
character for the movies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he already looks like a slimy bastard, and you might as well just continue it.
Big
Yeah.
sleazeball, that's what he is.
Definitely true, and
You
that's
know,
why
I
because
keep looking up and
He'll
finding
do
new
anything.
yeah, the ending with him is a little unsatisfying, and I feel like there's gonna be a extended scene with him getting some sort of
One up
justice or
Pillow
something.
dropped on him. Or
Bard's
something.
daughter socks him.
Yeah, I mean she did though. When they're all gathered around, he's holding her. She kicks him in the knee. Fuck you.
So irritating. I like part of that movie. I was just like, I think the guy was just that irritating.
Like Bard makes everybody put him down, and then he just like makes him fall, and he like just pushes him down on the floor again.
Why save him? Like, Bard should have just stood back, let him
This is
take
very
it.
much, because Bard's very much the
He's-
hero, like Aragorn is the hero.
Mm.
He's like a displaced ruler that, or the descendant of a displaced ruler. That's always just bad. It's very just. And I mean, he doesn't want anything bad to happen to Alfred, but at the same time, he's like, Alfred, you're a dick, so just sit down.
Yeah.
Be
I
quiet.
just saved your life. Just sit down.
Nobody cares. Shut up.
Nobody
You can't
will
just
hurt
watch-
you. You shut the hell up and just leave everybody alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the same time, he can't just
You
watch.
can't
like,
even do that.
Nope.
these people.
Wait, It's like scolding a kid. Just put him in the corner. Like, you know,
Yeah.
don't get in the corner.
Get in that corner.
Very selfish. Bring
Don't
him in.
acknowledge him.
Get in the corner. Nobody wants to deal with him. Nobody gives a crap.
So Tauriel really takes the reins of getting the crew out of Laketown alive.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Since,
awesome.
she's captain of the guard, she's used to that sort of leadership. And then we have a cute little scene with Kili giving her his stone.
I know.
It was so cute.
It was. I was like, oh.
Here's my little trinket.
What's up?
I got toys for days, guys. I got toys for days.
So I saw this movie 4 times, and after like the second time, I was just like, Kili, go kiss her. Just kiss her. Let's do it.
Just make it happen.
Who cares if your brother's watching, and Legolas is watching, and everyone is watching?
But it's like, who cares? I still love you, and yeah, all right.
Wait.
Do you guys know what he said to her in Dwarvish?
No.
I don't remember.
He called her my love.
Oh. They must have said that in some time. No. It's,
No.
No, he says to her, shit.
Oh.
That's
Forget what the word is
Yeah.
in,
so cute. I love it.
Twinsies.
God.
yeah, I know. It's twinsies. Forget what the word is in Dwarvish, but
I hope you guys gave each other those.
it means my love. Well, I gave him that one.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, do we tell what the stone actually says?
Oh, return to me.
Nice.
Yeah. That's what it says. But it's from his mother.
Yeah.
So,
Hint, hint.
whoops.
Hint. No.
Mhm.
Which, shit, listen, Lady D needs to be in the extended edition. It might not happen, but
It's not gonna happen.
goddamn can I hope.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't know.
let's like transition over to Dol Guldur, where Gandalf is trapped. And like what is probably the only orc left in Dol Guldur starts just beating up on Gandalf.
I know.
That guy must have been the only orc left, though.
That you just put a horrible
Yeah.
image into my head, Cleo. Would you
What?
like to rephrase that?
Yeah, I'm not going there.
Yeah, really, Dom.
I don't know what I did, so
You don't know what you did.
I'm just moving on.
The only the only orc is beating off on Dumbledore on Gandalf.
He said
Beating up Gandalf.
It's beating on, not beating off.
Beating up on
She said
Gandalf.
beating on.
Whatever.
On.
He was beating Gandalf up, and his girlfriend Galadriel comes to save him.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is so cool.
Which-
He is so cool.
Not actual girlfriends.
Galadriel's just like badass, though. Like, really.
Yeah, and she walks in like
She
a
scared me.
one lady army.
Yeah, she well, no holds bar. She'll just like,
No,
do whatever she needs to.
and I don't know if you guys remember, but in Desolation, Gandalf was going around in little patches, taking down the magical barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Galadriel comes in one swoop. It's like, oh, barrier's gone.
Yeah.
All right, done.
She's so strong.
Yeah, but then she gets weakened like royally though.
Yeah, but
Well, she. Okay, I thought a lot about this.
plus her power is so strong.
So she picks Gandalf up, carries him, and when the ring wraiths surround her, she puts him down. And then she's like, yeah, I'm not alone. And in comes the cavalry. But then she uses her powers to wake Gandalf up. She
Mhm.
brings him back from the brink of death,
Yep.
basically. And that's where she puts a lot of her power in that moment into. So that's why she's weak at that point.
But she can always re-heal.
But
Well, yeah,
she's
I know
not-
she re-healed, but like she drained a hell of
Yeah.
a lot of energy trying to save
Yeah.
it.
But that's what you do for your homies.
I'm not saying that's what you don't do. I'm just saying. Well, I just said
Same
do.
thing. Oh, they're so tight. They're so tight. Oh,
I just said do.
she is great.
She's supposed to be married to someone else.
She is married to someone else. I was
I
just
don't know.
joking about the girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know
I
about
was just
that.
joking.
Yeah, well.
It-
might not
it's
be.
a joke. It's a joke on the internet about Celeborn, who is Galadriel's husband, being mad at Gandalf for
This up.
for being too
Like
close
my
to
wife,
Galadriel.
bro.
I have to look this up.
But anyway, They fucking fight the 9 ringwraiths just normally. Like, that's an interesting scene, and I want to know what Mike has. Do you know if Mike's in chat? Like, I really want to know what Mike has to say about that.
I don't believe Mike has had a chance to see the movie yet.
Damn him.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Oh.
Because John, we were talking earlier about like the logistics of the wraith fight,
Right.
and like the
Because
reason they're
the
able
Wra-
to. Huh?
Well, because the wraiths aren't even remotely corporeal at that point. They're literally just spirits.
Yeah.
But
They don't even have the armor that they wear in Fellowship.
No, they're just ghosts. So
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Elrond is like super magic because he's just like, no sword, nah, don't worry about it. Just guts them like a fish. And then, I mean, obviously Saruman is an incredibly powerful lizard, so he can just basically do what he wants. So I'm not surprised that he was able to damage them so well. But my God, they just gave them a thrashing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting, and it
Sure
probably
did.
chalks it up to having magical weapons or whatever, but...
And they're not fully to their fullest potential in this yet either, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't have the physical presence to do the damage that they can when they're riding on the winged beasts.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, especially if they're not at their full potential and they're getting defeated by magic weapons, that definitely makes a bit more sense.
Mm-hmm. But I just love Elrond comes in with his sword and delivers like this one-liner. He's like, "You should have stayed dead." And, like the first time, I didn't think about it. The second time I watched the movie, I was like, "It's just a voice."
You focus much on the first time, and then the second time you're like,
Yeah.
catch little things I noticed.
Yeah, but they dispatched them pretty well.
Also,
and they-
none of that was in the book.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, they're actually, I'm pretty sure that
It did happen.
It did happen.
It
I
happened.
think they
We didn't know
merged.
about it.
They merged 2 events together because Gandalf does while Thorin and company are doing their thing. He does go in search of the necromancer. He runs into him, and then I think during the Lord of the Rings. No, it had to have been now because it was the White Council.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think it's just an extended, like an extra book story thing.
Yeah.
But Gandalf does in passing the
happened.
book say, "Oh, it's nothing. I just had a dealing with a necromancer." That continues talking about something else.
Pay no mind. Anyway, who's in the mountain?
So what'd you say about a necromancer? It doesn't matter. Keep talking.
Oh yeah, took care of him. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
good.
that-
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
No worries.
He did what? Well, you did what now? Yeah, no big deal.
No.
You see my hat? I miss my hat.
He actually had his hat. He escapes with
he
his
did.
hat.
He did have his hat.
He kept his hat.
But actually, Gandalf, his staff breaks. His staff broke in Desolation, when he was fighting the necromancer, Sauron. We know he's Sauron now. But then he has a staff again. Did he take Radagast's staff? He's just like, I need that more than you. Bye.
Excuse me, can I borrow this? Thanks.
Yeah, he just shows up in Dale with the staff.
Oh.
It's like,
And by borrowing, I mean never giving back.
yeah, exactly.
Never giving back.
Magically fixed his staff. That's what happened.
He cast it then.
His
Maybe.
staff is
Super close.
different.
Oh, it was different than the one he had?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying too much attention in the battle when watching the Battle of Five Armies, but the staff that he has in the first 2 Hobbits is different than the staff he has in the Lord of the Rings. And the OneRing.net people said that the staff he has, or Radagast's staff, looks like Gandalf's staff in the Lord of the Rings. So I'm thinking he takes Radagast's staff and keeps it.
Maybe that is something we'll see in the extended version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny. I'm like,
Or just budget.
steal your bro's staff. You just saved your life.
See,
Okay.
I don't
Like
know.
Gandalf.
everybody expect these movies to be really long anyway. Why can't they just give us the extended version in the theater?
Well, and I agree with you. But in the beginning, when they first did The Lord of the Rings, the reason was they didn't think that, or they wouldn't let Peter Jackson go over a certain amount of time. So the theatrical cuts had to be what they were.
It had to be shorter than the Titanic.
Yes. So when they did so well, Peter Jackson was like, hey, can we, put these out as extended editions? And then that kind of caught on. So now we're expecting to have an extended edition.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just a thing that happens now. And I actually wish that wasn't the case. As much as I liked the extended editions with The Lord of the Rings, I'm not sure. I don't know. I gotta buy two. I gotta buy two now.
My whole gripe with it is everything that we don't have answered, we're just like, oh, that's in the extended version. That's just our assumption. There it is. They'll explain it there.
Right.
So
and it's not even like it'll be explained, but it's also like we can imagine that Alfred gets out of Dale and then something bad happens to him, but we kind of just want to see it.
Yes, for confirmation purposes.
Yeah.
Karma's a bitch.
I agree. Yep.
Because that's what in the Return of the King, that's what happens with Wormtongue. Wormtongue, we see in the theatrical gets away, but then in the extended edition, it's like, oh, that's what happened to him, and he's dead.
Comeuppance.
Yeah. So I just think it's what we want to see more than what we want answered.
Yeah. Well, they know that the fans are going to wait for it and want it. And speculate.
I didn't last very long with that mustache. Oh.
You're like, all right.
Cleo, you shave faster than I do.
Real fast. Yeah.
Magic. It's
Jealous.
magic.
Use
Gandalf's sword. Or
Gandalf's razor?
Yeah.
Gotta fill out I got a magical razor.
His staff.
Gandalf himself.
Staff.
Gandalf's
I can't even speak.
There's Orcrist in her band.
So Sauron, after the Wraith. Oh, well, actually, let's talk about Galadriel.
Hey, that guy.
Wow, you're growing stubble back really quickly
I know, right?
too. Like you are. Wow, that's incredible.
I'm really good at this. Men, take note.
I tell ya. It's the staff.
I mean, she just shaved and now she's got stubble. Like, it's not even 6 o'clock for her to get her shadow. Like,
well, that's the power of dwarves. You shave the beard, and it just comes right back.
By the end of this podcast, you're gonna have more on your face than you do on your head.
Yes, that's how dwarves work. Okay. Anyway, Galadriel. We see her go. I don't even know how to say it, but like sort of dark magic-y, like we see in Fellowship. And that's sort of like, that's less of her power and more of the ring's power, because she has a ring of power. It's the elven.
Which one is Gadriel?
Galadriel?
Yeah.
The elven lady, blondie.
Blonde, she's in the big part.
Oh, okay. Yep,
right?
I got her.
The woods, all that such. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's her ring's power, not her power, for sure.
Definitely.
I mean, the rings definitely channel powers that are already in the person.
How many of those rings are in existence?
The elves have 3 rings.
Yeah.
Galadriel has 1,
Has,
Elrond has 1, and Gandalf has 1.
The humans have 9.
Yes, and they're all...
they're the Wraiths.
All the 9 rings are with the Wraiths. The Wraiths all have their rings.
Right.
And then there are 7
to the
dwarven
dwarves?
rings. And some are destroyed, some are missing, and some Sauron has.
And which is the one that Bilbo has? That's the one that controls all the
that
rings?
Bilbo has.
That's 1 ring. That is Sauron's ring.
It's the One Ring.
And that's intended to
Sauron.
control all the other rings.
Rule them all!
One
Yes.
ring.
It's the most powerful in the right hands. I mean, in the hands of a hobbit, it's not at its full potential, but...
Why does it make the hobbits
I mean, that's
invisible?
why...
Well, no.
Because they get transported to, like, the nether realm. It's not really that they're invisible.
That was never something that happened in the book. In the book, it was just you put the ring on, you became invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Sauron could sense you. but
I'm sure he could.
in the movies, it's you put the ring on and you are between worlds, so you're like in the Wraith world.
Right.
That's why when Frodo puts the ring on, he can see the Wraiths in their white robes and crowns and stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's how it works in the movies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, theoretically, would that still work for anyone that put the ring on, or is that just a Hobbit thing?
Yeah, because you see in the beginning of the Fellowship, Isildur puts the ring on. He's the king.
Yep.
And that's the beginning of the extended edition. It's not in the theatrical cut.
Right.
God, I gotta
He
see
puts
those.
the ring on, and he sees like the Wraith world around him.
Gotcha.
I have to see those extended editions.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch.
We will.
But anyway, Galadriel uses her little crazy powers, and she's actually got the vial, the light of Elendil. No, wait, Erendil. There's two names that sound very similar, and the star is Erendil.
Arendelle?
Erendil,
Yeah.
and that's what she gives Frodo in Fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
That's her gift to him. He uses it in Shelob's lair. So that's her power plus the power of the star to like send Sauron away, which is really very impressive. Yeah. So that's
She
why
is not someone to mess
great.
with.
Dude, that was so cool. Oh, I love that. That whole, like, going through her. Oh, that was so cool.
Yeah.
And
Done.
Saruman goes off to fight Sauron. Now we all know what happens to Saruman.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he actually wants to defeat Sauron and he's going off to fight the good fight, or is he already being tempted?
I think he's already being tempted.
Me too. I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's definitely like the message that they're putting in the movie. I can tell you for certain about the books though, if you want.
But do tell.
Yeah, it really seems in the movies that he's already like, power, let me follow it. But in the books, it was like Saruman put himself into finding Sauron and defeating him, but then slowly got turned.
Yeah.
So in these 60 years in the book, from now until the Lord of the Rings, he slowly turns towards evil.
Okay.
I mean, the Hobbit movies take place over the course of like 3 or 4 days or so. Or, no, it ended up being what, 10 weeks, 10 months? What was it?
I think Bilbo was gone for 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah,
Is that what
they
he
come back
said?
and they say you've been gone for like 36 months or something.
Yeah.
So it's a little over 2 years.
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
It's a span of, like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
For whatever, I mean, I guess it's just because
4 days, stop.
It really didn't seem like all this took place over a long period of time. It didn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Well, the travel from Bag End to the Lonely Mountain was from the beginning of summer to the beginning of winter.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it did show the season change, and
Okay.
And
so you figured the full round trip back, but the
takes
time
longer
getting there and the time
back,
getting back,
not rushed.
it would have been about a year. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, excuse me. But
it
then
still didn't seem like this whole the whole 3 movies took place over the course of a year, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, what the movies do is they definitely condense the time frame. And there's a lot of arguments and like, oh, hey, this is totally different than in the books, but the timeline is different. Some places it's slightly different, some places it's drastically different.
Yeah.
So, in this, it's probably, for the amount of time this quest took, it's probably slightly different than in the book. But in the book, it's definitely beginning of summer to the beginning of winter.
Because, no, I haven't watched these since they came out in the theaters. So, the first one ends with them discovering the gold and the dragon, right?
Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah.
No, the first one ends on the Eagle's Theory after they
Yeah.
fought the wargs in the trees.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I thought we saw the dragon at the very end, like the last scene.
No, you saw
you see
Laketown.
a bird fly
That's right.
to the mountain.
The second one is
Yeah,
the
The
gold.
second one,
when they find Smaug.
No, I know the second one
And then
ends
Smaug
with
leaves.
him heading to Laketown. I know that. I thought the first movie ended with just like a shot of the dragon sleeping
yeah,
in the
but
gold.
they were nowhere near the mountain at that point.
Oh, okay.
No.
They're showing what's to come.
Okay.
That's right. I got confused.
Yeah, because I'm saying, because if that was the way it ended and they're like walking in and they see the dragon or whatever, then I'm like, it really seems like this just took place over the course of a week, you know?
No. It's, you see the seasons
That's the
change,
impression that I got, you know?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I hear you. Of course, movies are to it. Makes it seem.
So
3 weeks later.
flashback to Erebor.
Mm-hmm.
Fili, Kili, Bofer, and Oin all like rush across the lake towards the mountain, and they get in. They're like, "Where is everybody? What's going on?" And Bilbo's like, "Get out! No! You can't be here. We all need to leave." Because Thorin's gone crazy.
He's nuts.
He's gone very crazy. Oh my god! I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? In my seat.
What a dick.
I mean, you say he's a dick, but dragon sickness is not. He's not just being a dick.
Oh yeah, I know, but like
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
And actually, I
I've
found
never
a
gotten
great
it.
way to describe it. Because me and John were talking about the Fellowship, because he started reading the Fellowship. And it describes the growing greed of the Hobbit people attracts the eye of Sauron.
Yep.
So normal greed attracts evil. So if you have this giant treasure trove that the dwarves have coveted for all this time, then the normal greed brings evil. Which is the dragon sickness and then an actual dragon. And this is gold that not only brought dragon sickness, but brought a dragon that then brooded over it for 60 years that's more evil.
Yeah.
And worked faster on
Intensifying
Thorin.
the dragon sickness.
Huh?
Intensifying the dragon sickness.
Exactly, and it worked a lot faster on Thorin than it did on his grandfather.
yeah, but don't they have like, Tylenol, cold, flu, and
God.
Sickness.
That would
Oh
be
my
fun.
god!
Tylenol dragon sickness.
I have to make.
I'm pretty sure Theraflu covers that.
That's the best thing.
You are all welcome.
Tylenol dragon sickness.
No, PM, Tylenol, PM, AM, and
Dragon
Dragon.
sickness.
I have to make that a prop next time I dress as Thorin. Holy crap, that's perfect.
Sniffing stuffy head. I can't deal with this gold fever.
That's great.
Like,
That is great.
Hey, you know what, guys? I can tempt you right now. See? Look. More
Ooh.
coins.
oh,
Who's getting the sickness?
I'm getting.
Oh, he's got it. I got him. He's coming to my house.
Where's this Tylenol dragon sickness?
Use that joke.
Dragon sickness.
I have been
He's gonna
waiting
brood
to
over my
see
sack.
that joke.
Oh no! Oh no! I'm all out of Tylenol dragon sickness. It's empty.
My God.
oh my god.
You know what though? Just think about it though. Like just a normal like human, not even dwarves. Like dwarves, humans, anything with that much gold in there at their exposure. Like I think it would drive anybody just.
It's like the
regularly
seagulls
nuts.
from Nemo.
Mine. Well, they all would have a different reason for taking some. And then
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, exactly.
All right. Let me hide it.
Well, I think it affects people outside of the mountain differently than those inside. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Bilbo.
And I think Thorin especially because Richard Armitage, who plays Thorin, described it sort of as Alzheimer's, like a disease like that, where he saw his grandfather go through it. He didn't experience it when he was younger, but he nursed his grandfather through it. He knows it could be coming for him, and when it does, he cannot realize it. He physically just cannot realize what's happening.
Right.
Well, it's denial.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm just a little fuzzy, but what was the trigger that actually cured him?
I'm not sure it was. I mean, there was the entire gold
Dwalin.
fever dream scene
Mm-hmm.
where he's just hearing these things over and over again.
And then something like all that, like
I'm not my grandfather.
Drowning.
I'm my grandfather.
Yep.
I think that was really it. It was like, I'm not my grandfather.
Because to me, he just seemed sick, and then he seemed better, and I was like, what happened? What, did I, like...
Dwalin, damn it.
Did I catch dragon fever and have amnesia and forget what happened?
And while dragon sickness is not an actual sickness, it's a sickness of the mind, it's an evil sickness. I would assume it could be overcome by good. And Thorin's friendship with Bilbo, his relationship to his kin, his cousins, his nephews, is probably what broke it in the end.
I was just going to mention that, like, the closeness, he probably realized that's a lot more than, you know, losing that is a lot more, well, that means a lot more than,
Right.
you know, just mere gold.
Yeah. And it probably came with no small contribution from Dwalin, who is like, has always been his right-hand man, has never questioned anything he said. He's always been there. And Dwalin said, you can't see what you've become.
Yeah.
And like, that's probably the line. That's probably the thing that pushed him over and realized, whoa, hold on.
Step back. I need to step back and rethink what's going on.
I can't breathe. This armor's choking me.
You could see that they were all kind of like in a little panic when he started going like crazy, because they're like, what do we do? You know, but neither of them really seemed to like discuss it. Like they just kind of sat there and took it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we got to do what we got to do. Let him keep being sick with dragon sickness, whatever.
They were just hoping.
Well, there's nothing that you can do. They got away from the crack.
Mm.
Yeah, and I mean, Balin had seen it before. He saw Thror go through it. He knew there was, and Thror led his people to Moria to try to take back Moria, which ended with death upon death. Mm-hmm. And Balin knows that if it's got Thorin, there's a high chance it's not letting him go.
I mean, they could have just like locked him up somewhere. Like, there's got to be chains in there or something.
They're loyal to a fault, though.
Yeah.
And also, he's stronger than them.
Probably true.
So
probably.
You gotta catch him off guard, though.
Not Dwalin. Dwalin can take him. But
I mean, but it was odd that he's like over these people that he trusted this whole time. That he just like goes, oh, Bilbo, you're the only true friend I have. You know, I found that really weird.
Now that's interesting. I didn't think of this until, I thought of, let me just start. So they've done an excellent job in this movie of paralleling the dragon sickness to what happens to people under the influence of the One Ring. Mm-hmm. So there are some things that Thorin says under the influence of dragon sickness that sounds a lot like things Bilbo says later when he's had the ring for 60 years.
Yep.
When he's talking to Bilbo, he says one of them is false. Something that Gollum says. Trixie false. Mm-hmm. And he says the gold is ours. Like, the precious is ours. So they're really tying those two things together.
That's interesting.
And I think that I don't know if it necessarily has to do with Bilbo having the ring, but Thorin sees in Bilbo, like, and it's there, this innocence. Like, hobbits are, like...
Hobbitses.
Pretty innocent.
Hobbitses.
Well, and it's also that, you know, he really didn't believe that Bilbo cared much for the gold or the treasure at that point, you know? Yeah. I mean, it really wasn't his reason for going and things like that. So
no,
I guess he at that point did trust him more than his kin, because he was like, well, the dwarves are greedy like me and blah blah blah, so they must want my treasure, they must be hiding it from me. And so
little do they know, Bilbo's got the Arkenstone with him during that conversation.
They hired him as a burglar.
Bilbo, he didn't even know that he had it at the beginning. That's the funniest part.
Yeah.
He did not even realize what it was. Yeah.
Bilbo knew he had it.
Not in the book.
No, not in the book.
The book,
No,
yeah,
in the book
no
he
idea.
was compelled to take it.
It
Shiny
probably
rock.
makes you like the ring in the book
Yeah.
compels you like just like the ring. It's overpowering. Yeah.
Because the Armitage Stone is the epicenter of this mountain's treasure.
Is
But
it also
Bilbo
the
knew that's what it
epicenter of
was.
the dragon
That's
sickness?
true. He did.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the whole the like epitome of the lonely, of Erebor's wealth was when they found the Arkenstone. Like that was the height of their everything.
Gotcha.
But yeah, because Bilbo you saw the flashback. Bilbo had the little talk with Smaug, and Smaug was like,
right.
"Oh, there it is. I almost want to let you take it." Watch it
Yeah, I was
drag
thinking of the
mad."
book. Sorry, I
Huh?
forgot.
Oh
I
no,
got the
that's
book
okay.
confused with the movie.
I'm glad you're bringing
There's
up.
a lot of details.
Sorry, internet.
It's a lot to remember.
It
There's
is.
a lot of
I'm
detail.
probably wrong on a bunch of stuff too.
I think my favorite scene with Smaug, though,
Yeah.
was in none of the movies. It was on Stephen Colbert.
That is quite true, sir. But yeah, they definitely draw the line between dragon sickness and the One Ring, because I mean they even go a little bit further, and I don't know if it's true. I have to look at side by side pictures, but Thorin looks different in this movie. He looks a little sick.
Yeah, very subtle kind of
Very-
changes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
subtle makeup changes, but he looks a little sick.
Yeah.
I love the scene where the dwarves are armoring up and like they all march down. It's like really
It's cute.
crazy. Like it's such a well done scene because it divides Bilbo and Thorin. The dwarves are walking down the middle. And Beaufort is wearing all full plate armor with his silly hat.
Goofy hat.
He's still wearing his silly hat.
Oh,
Correct
so
me
precious.
if I'm wrong, because I may have missed something somewhere, but I remember Thorin gives Bilbo the mithril armor.
Yes,
Does
that's in
that-
the
Does that ever come into play, though? Like, did it ever actually do anything for Bilbo? Like, was there a scene where we saw him, like, struck with something?
He was hit in the
he was
head.
knocked unconscious, whatever, but I was totally waiting for a scene where he got stabbed or something and
Yeah, he never gets stabbed.
survived,
I mean,
'cause
it's-
the armor.
No.
No?
it's more of a gift, like, and they were going into battle.
Right.
He
I
was
just-
going to wear anything.
Well,
I feel the way they hyped it up,
they
didn't utilize it.
Protect you.
well,
yeah.
that's the
thing
mithril
was-
has importance to the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, no, I know that. What were you
Yeah,
gonna say,
I
John?
mean, the armor that they give to Frodo.
it was originally for an elven prince in the book. That's what they said. It was made for an elven prince who obviously never picked up his order. So it was hobbit sized. So he was like, "Hey, here." And in the book, they said, I don't know if they mentioned it in the movie. I forget that they mentioned that it can deflect arrows if they were to fly at him, and was like, it's stupid powerful.
I think
but
Dom's
he
problem is that
doesn't-
it was a setup with no payoff.
Yeah.
Right, Dom?
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
It doesn't have to have a payoff. It's
No,
just-
you're right. It doesn't.
No, because
It doesn't. But that
Well-
seems like one of the scenes that in a movie that you would cut because it doesn't have a payoff. There's no purpose for it directly retained to the plot. It's something that you would still like the fan service to see that would be good for the
It's-
extended edition if they're
It's
not
a
going to
little-
do anything with it.
I mean, it's a little bit of fan service, I guess, but it is more of like, this is the events that lead to the Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And also,
The thrill is important.
of their
Yeah,
friendship.
wasn't it like more of a token of the fact of here,
their
I'm giving
friendship.
you this because I trust you?
You're
We're
my
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
token of friendship. I think that's all it was meant to be. I mean, it could have been used, like Dom was saying, like in Battle of
I
War.
was just expecting it the whole time when Bilbo's like, oh, I'll make it, they'll never see me coming. I just imagine him, running through whatever, taking the ring off, and then all of a sudden gets stabbed, and then, he, falls down, they're, weeping, Bilbo's dead, oh no, and then it's mithril
I'm
armor.
just going to say about that would have been a scene to be cut because of all of the drama with death. I think a fake Bilbo death is the last thing that we...
Well, they could have very easily done that instead of knocking him unconscious. It would have had the exact same effect.
No, because nobody noticed when he got knocked unconscious. I hate to say, but
Right.
nobody noticed.
Right. Well, that's the same thing.
The thing you're describing expends a lot of drama and talk about knowing that he's gonna live.
Right.
You were saying that you don't like those scenes.
No, I don't.
You're describing something you don't like.
Exactly, but I'm also not liking the fact that they didn't use it. Because now if I was to watch these...
that would have been a waste of time.
But see, if I was to watch these, if I had never watched Lord of the Rings, right, and I watched the Hobbit movies first, I would have enjoyed them a lot more than I did.
Yeah, but that's you specifically.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And I understand The Hobbit never would have happened without the success of the Lord of the Rings movies to piggyback off of, so to speak. But if you've never watched them and you watch them in that order, I think from a story standpoint, you'd be able to enjoy it more.
What, from The Hobbit to The Lord of the Rings? Yeah, well, it's just like Star Wars, watching...
No.
It's actually
You're not comparing Lord of the Rings to Star Wars. No, you're not.
All I'm going to say about Star Wars is there's only episodes 4, 5, and 6. I don't know what other things you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Lord willing, Peter Jackson will not go back and fix
I like the original 4, 5, and 6 the best too, but I think then watching 1, 2, and 3, I was like,
They've never even made 1, 2, and 3. What are you talking about?
They don't exist.
I don't know what she's talking about. Tom, make her stop. Stop. Silence the heretic.
Sorry, I have dragon.
Back to the
You got a Tylenol?
No,
I'd give you mine, but I'm all out.
God!
Back to the armor. Gloin dons a helmet that is the helmet he then gives to Gimli when he goes to join the Fellowship.
Yep. Mentioned that to me too during the movie. I was like, "Ow,
it looks familiar."
Yeah.
Wee lad.
Yeah, I just couldn't.
Oh, we lad Gimli.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's my wife.
So the
Dwarven women.
men of it's the beards. The men of Laketown make it to Dale, and surprise elven army on your doorstep when you wake up.
Surprise!
Okay.
He's like, yeah, I totally. What was it? What's his name?
Yeah, Alfred was like, nothing to report.
Nothing gets past me.
Nope.
Except an entire elven army.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So it seems.
Coward. Freaking coward fighting amongst.
No, nobody's here.
No, nobody's there. I swear. I love the interactions between Bard and Thranduil. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Because Gandalf rides up and starts explaining stuff, and Thranduil just goes the biggest eye roll at Bard. And Bard's just like, I've never met a wizard before. Hi.
That was an epic eye roll.
It's great. He's so sassy. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was neat. One in every crowd.
Sassmaster.
Huh?
Who you hiring?
What?
Sassmaster?
Sassmaster. Anyway.
Yeah. So, Gandalf goes on about how Erebor is coveted by Sauron because of its strategic position to Angband, which is the old stronghold. None of you are gonna know this because none of you have read the Silmarillion, but I think that Peter Jackson and the writers were going for a a reference to Morgoth, who was Sauron's predecessor.
Okay.
So Morgoth had this stronghold in the north, surrounded by, mountains and shit.
Now,
Before the north was covered in water.
The other story you just mentioned, the Silmarillion.
Yes.
Where in the timeline does that take place?
All over. From the dawn of time to the... does it end in the Second Age?
What you have to buy?
I haven't. Don't look at me. I never read it.
And from the dawn of time to the Second Age, which is the age before we're in right now.
Okay, so it would be another prequel.
Oh, okay. I want you to hold that for the end because I do want to talk about that. That's got to be saved.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like they were going for a northern stronghold as opposed to Mordor. Mordor's in the south. And I feel like they were making a reference to Morgoth. I just wanted to mention that. Probably nobody gets it. I just really wanted to mention it.
Yeah.
So Bilbo sneaks out.
When you notice things like that.
Actually, wait. I think I skipped something. I wanted to talk about Balin's discussion with Bilbo. Because Bilbo comes in, he's like, if Thorin had the Arkenstone, would everything be okay? And Balin gives him the eye you fucking have the Arkenstone, you little shit.
Kill you.
He's like, just don't. It should stay hidden.
He's a master thief.
Yeah. The acting in these movies are so just in the eyes, and there's so much that goes unsaid that you just see in the eyes.
There's a lot of beards to cover the face, so you have to.
Unread.
Well, that's why they have the big eyebrows, so you can see the.
Yeah.
The bushy expression of untrust.
What?
Yes.
The bushy expression of untrust and denial.
Yeah.
But Balin was just like, dude, I hate you right now, but seriously, I love you right now.
He's
like, just keep it away.
Hidden.
Hidden.
He seemed frightened. He's like, no,
it's
no,
not
no,
good
no.
if he gets it.
He's like,
run
just no.
now.
Yeah, he was like, you could definitely tell he was like,
I'm not telling you to leave, but I'm telling you not to stay.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
I'll give you a hint right now. It's not good to give that up.
It's not good to give it to Thorin specifically.
Yes.
Not to go to give it to Thorin.
But I don't think
You have it.
when Balin told him that, I don't think Balin thought that he would go and give it to Thranduil.
No, not at all.
But he does. Bilbo sneaks out with the Arkenstone, gives it to Bard and Thrandy. And Bard, I love Bard's face when Bilbo is saying things, because Bard is super impressed with this tiny person. Bard's just like,
oh, look, a tiny man.
I always lose focus though when they're showing the Hobbits, because I'm thinking from a filming standpoint, how the hell did they film this with this life-size guy next to this life-size guy? And because I know a lot of it is camera
angles and mirrors.
Yeah, I know a lot of it is that, but there's some scenes that it just doesn't plausibly look that way, and it has to be superimposed.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Most of the ones where you see a small person standing next to a large person, it is a body double of the Hobbit with the normal-sized actor, and they superimpose it.
Okay.
Oh, that makes... Okay.
Yeah. There are a lot less practical effects in the Hobbits movies than there were in the Lord of the Rings. That's not to say that there aren't.
Because I know one of the carriage rides with what is it, with Gandalf and Frodo and Sam and the other one, I saw the way that the carriage was set up, and it's like you look at it straight on, and it's like it does not look like a piece at all, but you do it from the angle it was filmed at, and it looks like one continuous piece, which makes the characters look different sizes, and it was actually really cool.
Yeah,
like optical illusion.
I love when they do stuff like that. But yeah, and I love how Bilbo, because Thranduil's like, you're the one who stole the keys from my garden, and Bilbo's just like, yes.
Pretty much.
Want me to say?
Bard is giggling in the corner like, look at this fucking Hobbit.
Stupid, stuck-up bitch.
Yes.
Yes.
And then we come to the gates.
So, but hold on.
Oh,
John
go.
ran for 5 seconds. Fucking, they cut Bomber so hard out of the scene when Bilbo was escaping the mountain. He was supposed to talk to Bomber, and I'm like, Bomber can finally have a line in the movie. And then it never happened. Why? Why can't he talk just one time?
Yeah,
no,
it's totally in the extended scenes, John.
Totally, John. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
That's our answer to everything that you missed out on. It's in the extended version.
Listen,
In doubt.
Internet, he's my favorite character. I just want him to talk one time, and I want him to sound like Winnie the Pooh. I wasn't asking for much, okay?
I'm asking for
Oh,
much.
boy.
I'm done. Move on.
You wanted Jim Cummings to voice him? Is that who voices Winnie the Pooh? Jim Cummings?
Yes, is that wrong?
I don't know.
No, it's Winnie the Pooh.
Oh,
Winnie the Pooh voices Winnie
Yeah.
the Pooh.
gotcha.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Just, Pooh Bear's real, Dom. Shut up.
Sorry, dragon sickness and all. Like, I got a refill real quick, so.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
take your freaking Dimetap and shut up.
So Thorin and Bard argue at the gates. And Bard is like, yeah, but you promised us money. Like, we're kind of destitute right now.
This is why we're here.
This is why we're here. And yeah, it's the dragon sickness. It's a shitty thing to say no, go away. But
no, go away.
But no, go away.
But the more I think about what Thorin had to say, the more I'm like, you got some points. You're not justified, but you got some points. Because he says, well, what choice did we have but to barter our birthright for blankets and food and stuff like that? And I was like, you have a slight point.
Right.
Am I the only one who thinks like that? I feel like sometimes
So,
opinions I have about Thorin, I feel like I'm the only one.
No,
No,
definitely.
that makes sense. Because what are you gonna do? You know,
You have nothing.
we have nothing. We have nothing right now. I have to kind of give you an IOU just so that you will help me.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well,
It's-
I really didn't expect to pay you. You know, just
Yeah,
expected you to walk away.
So while he's not wholly wrong, he is definitely shouldn't have just been like, fuck you.
yeah, I mean, because as wrong as he is, as wrong as, as correct as he might be, I should say, there's enough gold in that mountain to build 3 lake towns
Oh yeah.
and
More than
then
3.
some. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't, wouldn't even put a dent in his hoard.
No.
But, that's notwithstanding, really.
But that goes back to like the dragon sickness being like the ring. It's just got its claws in him.
It's-
And, all of it, no. I need...
All mine.
Yeah,
It's like,
you
Thorin, do you need all of it?
You
I need all... No, I need all of it.
I wouldn't even
Every
see him giving
single
up one
vessel
coin.
is mine.
He doesn't. Then
No, he
that's what he says. He's like, I won't part with a single coin of it.
Right.
Yep, all of his, all my pieces.
But it seems like he wouldn't even give one coin to his friends, you know?
Well, I mean, it's not like any
No,
of
he
them wanted
helped,
it anyway.
Yeah.
But
Because
he got a ruby.
He flipped the fuck out when Bilbo, granted the Arkansas, that's what he wanted most of all.
Mhm.
But when Bilbo was like, yeah, it's my 0.1% of the treasure or whatever.
Yeah, my 14th of the treasure.
Yeah, and he's like, you're what? Like, he flipped out that Bilbo even mentioned that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
wanted part of it? Oh, well, yeah.
Since when?
Because I had to risk my ass for
And
it.
I mean, the whole point of this trip and sneaking through the door, sending a burglar in to get the Arkenstone, was not to get the gold. It was to get the Arkenstone out of the mountain so that they could go to Dain and say, "Here, we have the Arkenstone. I'm king. Come, we're gonna fight this dragon."
Right.
That was the entire point. But getting in the
Mhm.
mountain just corrupted all of it.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't only that, but Bard really fucked that plan up.
What?
He killed the dragon before they had a chance to mass the army to go kill the dragon. Bard just fucked their plans up.
No, technically Bilbo fucked their plans up.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he woke the dragon up. It was supposed to be sneak, sneak, grab, leave. But when you start talking to a dragon, it's hard to stop.
Yep.
Isn't he cute? Look how cute he is.
He's gold.
I love
gold.
I love
gold.
His
Yep.
But when the dwarves are up on the ramparts talking to Thranduil and Bard, Balin is just in the back like this. Like I'm getting too old for this shit, man. Like he's just got his arm up like this, just like I'm too old.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
like now. Oh man, what am I getting myself into again?
Can I just die now? Really? I'm kind of done with this shit.
That's how Balin is, I feel, throughout this whole movie, so I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like, just
I mean, but
kids.
But look at Gandalf. How old is Gandalf compared to him?
Gandalf's different.
Older than dirt.
Do you want me to explain why Gandalf's different? Because it could take a while.
Is it years old?
No, not now.
Okay.
Basically, all you need to know is Gandalf has been around since time.
Yeah.
Or fucking
in other forms than his.
He's not
current.
actually an old man.
No.
He is an
He's a
angel,
spirit.
basically, in the body of an old man.
Yeah.
Gandalf is
Right. That's
He's Castiel.
that's all you need.
Castiel. It's his meat suit.
Oh no.
It's his meat suit.
Oh.
He's an entity.
I'm
God,
sorry,
how
I
dare
did not
you.
need to make a supernatural reference.
You insult him.
I know it's.
But I've never watched.
Yeah, don't insult Castiel like that.
Don't insult Gandalf like that.
I've never seen Supernatural.
So
Just like that, me and Dom aren't friends again.
Bard takes the Arkenstone out of his pocket and is like, it's over, man. Just, give us what we want and everything's done. We're fine. We're cool. And then Thorin almost throws Bilbo off the balcony.
Yeah.
And Gandalf goes serious wizard.
That's the first time you see his little troop of dwarves and stuff, like, really be like, alright, we need to, like, we're not following him blindly anymore.
Yeah, like this is getting out of
We
hand.
need to get Bilbo the hell out of here.
Yep.
Like, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, that's the straw. They're like, we're not going to do anything bad to Bilbo. Bilbo's our bro, man.
Yep.
Bilbo Broman.
That's the reason they got in there.
Get this crap. We're not killing him.
Bilbo Broman Baggins.
So Gandalf comes to the rescue, tells him to give me back my burglar in one piece.
Yep.
And then in comes the Raven. And like one of the best fucking parts of this movie comes up over the hill.
Yeah. I mean,
Dain motherfucking Ironfoot.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, I preferred the bears more, but that was just me.
Yeah.
Nah.
One bear.
I thought there were two.
No, one bear.
Okay.
But yeah. Dain is fucking great. He comes in like Scottish as hell and says he's gonna just cave in Thranduil's head. It's like, you, sir, are amusing.
Riding on a pig, by the way. Riding on an armored pig.
War pig.
War
War
pig.
pig and battle moose.
Between war pigs and Billy goats, man.
Yeah, the battle.
All they needed was some Black Sabbath to be playing at that time.
I know.
I know.
Somebody.
I bet it's already on YouTube.
Yeah, somebody on the internet's got to pull that one off for us.
God, yeah.
Bravo.
Please, internet, you have homework to do.
But the showdown between, like, just the stare down between Dain and Thranduil is like, is amazing.
Yeah.
It's like the
I stay on
entire,
this pig, I'm taller than you.
the entire, like, rivalry between elves and dwarves is summed up in just that stare.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that was very devious. I was like, ooh.
It was on like Donkey Kong.
Showdown. It was a bro down.
Bilbo Baggins, bro down.
Yep.
And before any heads could get caved in, holy shit, wereworms!
Yeah. What the... I don't even...
I know, I was so like, what really just happened?
I can just tell you I knew it was coming because I had seen it before I went to see it with John. And your face, when the wereworms just came through the mountain, you were just like...
Yeah, thick.
If I may approximate.
That's just it. Duh.
So I had to look this up because I didn't know wereworms were a thing, but apparently they're a thing.
They are.
They're never in the books, but they are mentioned. I think Bilbo is speaking to Gandalf. He says, "Tell me what you want done, and I will try it. If I have to walk from here to the east of the east and fight the wild wereworms in the last desert, I will." So they are a thing, whether they are in Middle Earth, whether they are mythic or...
Well, apparently they're effing real.
Yeah.
To me, they look like snakes. That's why I thought they were like just giant snakes.
Hey,
Yeah, and the image they have on the wiki, actually it's a different site, but is just a giant snake. But these things pop out of the earth like a sarlacc.
And that's why I was like,
More Star Wars things?
I know, but listen, the very first time I saw it, I was like, it's a fucking sarlacc. What the hell?
It would be amazing if Boba Fett
it's like-
flew out.
I was just about to say it, and there goes Boba.
that was hilarious.
Nice.
I have to say.
Get a little Easter egg in there. That would have been great.
I'm Boba the Fett.
But yeah, even though we
Like-
saw Azog say they have forgotten about the great worms, the earthworms, or whatever the fuck he called them, and we heard the digging, it was still a complete surprise, right?
Yeah.
When they popped out the other
I
side.
was like, what the frig?
That's thick.
I highly doubt anyone saw that coming.
Probably not.
Definitely nobody in front of Erebor.
No, absolutely not.
So yeah, we got a lot of steeds. A lot of special steeds. We had Battle Moose that Thranduil rode. I know it's an elk, but I've been calling it Battle Moose for 3 years now.
And that's okay.
Battle Moose.
Battle Moose, Dane's War Pig, and then the Plot Yaks that they ride up Ravenhill with.
What was
Yeah.
Right up the
the
mountain.
Not
They're
goats.
yaks? I thought they were billy goats.
No.
Plot Yaks.
what was the thing with the big antlers?
Plot Goats, yeah. I thought those were yaks. They're not yaks, they're goats.
They're billy goats because it's like mountain goats hopping up.
Alright, plot Goats then.
Okay.
There you go.
Backwards.
Because they
Got 'em
were
off the
literally nowhere to be seen, and then when they needed them, they were there.
Yeah.
Isn't
There
that
were
the way
4
everything
goats,
works?
just-
Yeah, totally the way everything works.
Excuse me?
Does anyone know? Because I don't. These were the weirdest trolls I have ever seen. What
Oh,
the
I
fuck
do
was
know.
with these trolls?
They were
Hold
trolling
on.
you.
I actually know.
You know?
Yes, I do. I think I know. Okay, but this is from the Shadow of Mordor game, so caveats abound. Apparently, this is the deal. The goblins were breeding trolls with graugs, these hulkish monster beasts that are in the game Shadow of Mordor. But they created these weird, horrible crossbreeds that were somehow dumber than a troll, if you can believe it, but much more animalistic. Much closer to the Graug. But they had, if you saw what Graugs and trolls are not too far off. It's just that the Graug blood would probably make the troll a lot bigger and stronger and much stupider.
Yeah.
But at the same time, still easily manipulated because a Graug is impossible to tame, in a real meaningful way. So at least the troll Graug hybrid would be. You could point him and say, "Go kill that," and he'll do it for the most part.
That makes
So that's my thought.
a hell of a lot of sense, because the trolls, Bilbo's trolls, the Tom and Tim and whatever the fuck their names were, they weren't stupid, but they still were they could speak, they had free will, but these things definitely didn't, and they definitely looked like they had been experimented on, especially that one that had all its limbs replaced with maces. That one was really...
He had one job. He had one job. And that was to mace people.
Yeah. And then the one with the head that just threw itself into the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were stupider than normal. Because, I mean, even the ones we see in The Lord of the Rings at the gates of Mordor.
Right.
They were being used as pack mules, basically, to open and close the giant doors, but
they were more intelligent.
They didn't seem as stupid as the ones we saw here.
Yeah.
So stupid. Oh my god, yeah.
So maybe they perfected those experiments at some point between...
Big lungs.
Yeah, probably.
Possibly.
Oh, man. This movie is just fucking crazy. And the fighting was just like...
It was great.
It was epic. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So when Thorin...
In action.
What?
No, I was saying all-out constant action at that
great.
whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It had like this kind of slow build-up, and then as soon as it got to like the last 45 minutes of the movie, it was just like non-stop action.
Yeah.
It's very well drawn out. I liked it. It was good.
And I think Fili really just got the butt end of the stick. Because in like amount of lines between the brothers, Kili got all the lines.
Yeah.
And like the one really good line that Fili got, we don't even see his face. He says, "Let's go over the wall." And we're looking at somebody else.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Fili is awesome.
Which one did you say got the shit out of the stick?
Fili, the blonde one.
Yeah, well, he died, so yeah, I would say so.
Well, so did Kili.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they both kind of died.
Oh my god, spoilers, Tom.
Spoilers?
Spoilers!
Which one had the more brutal death?
Oh, definitely Fili.
So he got the shit out of the stick.
Fili
He really did. Oh.
It's unfortunate,
Oh my
the poor guy.
Yeah. But I mean, Fili does speak out. He's like, "Let's go over the wall." But then it's Kili who says it louder, who like yells it. It's like, "I will not sit here." It's like, "Yeah, no, don't worry, we're going."
Yeah, we've seen
enough.
We
I just
went over this.
We've seen enough.
I just said that. God.
We know.
Oh.
So Thorin and company.
God.
Well, John Bomber gets to blow the horn.
Oh, he used his lungs. That's nice.
Yeah, he at least used his lungs once this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, words did not come out of them.
And he breathed in and out once.
Yay!
Great. Verifiable.
They run out.
I think John is really satisfied in the way they portrayed him in this movie.
Extremely.
Look how they portray him as a Lego with a sausage. Okay? This is the toy. He comes with a sausage.
Yep.
Okay?
That's sausage.
That's his weapon. It's his weapon. It's his weapon in the video game. So
Is it a full length?
Yeah.
A full-length sausage.
Does
he wield them like nunchucks?
The sausage. It's just one.
He's just got link sausages.
He does.
Link sausages.
Oh my god.
His main weapon is a soup ladle.
He's not wrong.
He's their cook. I mean, he's their cook. So, granted, he probably eats most of the food before they get to it. But
I was gonna say that he probably eats most of it. That's right.
Nunchuck link sausages.
Yeah.
That's a tongue twister.
Nunchuck.
Yeah, see? You can't even get through the first word.
Because I'm tired.
So, the dwarves all rally to Thorin as they're out and fighting and stuff, and in the middle of just a bunch of orcs, Dain is just headbutting, boom, headbutting orcs, and then Thorin and Dain like have a hug. They do a bro hug in the middle of like battle. It's like, guys, you sure we got the time to be doing this?
Bro hug.
Yes. There's always time
It's not gonna
for
stop.
hugs.
I love you, man.
Yeah,
Always
especially
cyber
in the middle of battle, there's room for that.
Battle's not gonna stop for
That
this.
scene definitely stood out to me. I was like, really?
There's always
Okay, I'll allow
I
it.
fucking love it though.
It was so great.
They're hugging, and an orc comes up, and while they're hugging, Dain just hits it with his hammer.
That's the moment when I was like, okay, it's okay now.
It's all right, we're fine.
Dane's like, we're having a moment. Stop.
Did you just wait a minute? God damn it.
So we saw Kili stand up to Thorin, like, I'm not just gonna sit here. Then we see Tauriel stand up to Thranduil, and it's like, you're not leaving. Bitch, you're not going anywhere.
And then he draws his sword, and then
cuts her bow in half.
And then Legolas comes in. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he kind of saved her.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that Thranduil was going to kill her.
I think he was really angry,
No,
but he wanted to
He's bullying. He's a big bully. He's a softie at heart, but he's a bully.
Well, yeah, he was.
Of course, he's a bully, but I don't think he would have killed her. He like mentored Tauriel. Basically, he took her, made her a guard. You know, because I'm assuming she's an orphan. Like, she is a young elf, and the way it's felt from Desolation is that she lost her parents, and that, you know, so it's sort of like he sees her sort of as another daughter.
I was really
Like
expecting.
first daughter.
I was really expecting, because we already said, you know, Fili dies, whatever. I was really expecting like a Romeo Juliet kind of scene with her, because I was expecting her to die. I really was.
Yeah, and I honestly think everyone was expecting her to die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what it ends up being is that she lives, and she wishes she was dead.
Pretty
like,
much.
She asks Thranduil, if this is love, I do not want it. Take it from me.
Yep.
Basically asking him to kill her, like he was prepared to do before.
And he goes, you know, it hurts because it was real. And
Yeah.
Like that at that moment, she kind of has this realization that he kind of now has changed his stance on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she sees... Legolas tells her, yeah, my mom died. My dad doesn't talk about it. He pretends he doesn't have any feelings. And then Thranduil shows her his feelings.
Right.
Like, it was real. I did love my wife, and she died, and it sucked.
Yep.
And so it's just a very nice moment. And it's something that we see in the extra books, like the pre-books. A lot of elves will lose... Not just elves, but some other beings too, will lose, like, the love of their life or their child, and they will shut down and basically die from grief.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and while we know that didn't happen to Thranduil, he just drank himself into fabulousness.
That may be assumed about Tauriel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if she would die of grief, but...
She's had a lot of tragedy in her life, so
yeah,
she very well could.
She very well could, but maybe not. And I really think there needs to be extended. I've talked to the extended scenes to death, but I really think there needs to be one
where she dies
of Tauriel returning to the Mirkwood, to the Elven Kingdom. Like, I just want a little bit more of Tauriel. We are getting an entire half an hour out of the extended edition.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll show something, like where she ends up.
It's going to be a good chunk of stuff.
Well, that's good.
Show us where she ends up and such.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Even if it's short. Even if we don't hear her say anything and just see her back.
I'm waiting for a line for her, something. I was waiting for it this whole movie where she'd, like, turn around and be like, we gotta go back, referencing Lost. I was waiting for it.
Well, actually, that's something that she didn't want a love triangle.
Right.
Evangeline Lilly didn't want Tauriel to be stuck in a love triangle. That is kind of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as love triangles go, this one wasn't bad.
It wasn't because it had closure to it. It was finite in where the triangle ended, you know? So.
Yeah, but it was also... Legolas was not a dick.
Nope.
Like, he saw how she felt and was sort of like, listen, I know, I understand. I'm here for you as a bro. We're gonna take care of this, and then I'm gonna leave, and it's gonna be fine.
Yep.
As far as love triangles go, that's pretty damn good.
Well, yeah, he realized, I know you love him. All right, that's fine. More than me.
And he was still willing to be there for him.
Exactly. He's very honorable.
Yeah.
More about I'd rather have you as a friend, sort of thing.
And single ladies.
I mean, Legolas,
Not until he meets Gimli.
if you like it, you should have put a ring on it.
Well, he killed orcs for her, so that counts, right?
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Anyway.
He fucked Bolg up real good.
And I just wanted to this is something I saw on Pinterest, and I forget who said this, but this was in an interview. I think a writer or someone said this, and it's Kili and Tauriel is not necessarily a story about their love, but it's a story about them falling out of love with their home and the people that, like, their leaders, basically. So when both Tauriel and Kili stand up against the, Thranduil and Thorin, and are like, I'm fucking done! Could we, not do this?
Yeah.
So, I think their story is very, very unique in that aspect, where it's not, they recognize, and they're both very young for their races.
Only a 75 for a dwarf.
Yeah. Kili is 77 and Tauriel is 300. So they're very young.
They are young.
Babies. Truly babies.
Yeah.
Wee
I mean,
babs.
Legolas is 3,000.
Yeah.
a baby.
Thranduil is 6 or 7,000.
Do they state that in books? Their ages?
It's never outright stated.
It's guesstimated.
It has been extrapolated how old these elves are.
Okay.
But some of the dwarves they explicitly say they're this old. They're, like Fili and Kili are both, they're both stated. They're 77 and 82.
Well, they're young.
For dwarves, yeah, they're young. Because
For
Thorin is
dwarves, yeah.
195.
Yep, for their race, they're young.
Doesn't look a day over 173, really.
He really doesn't. So
Maybe
yeah,
it's Maybelline.
the deaths. We should probably just get the deaths out of the way right now. The deaths are accurate to the book.
Dumbledore dies.
Snape killed him.
So does Romeo, so does Julian.
Wrong spoilers.
Spoilers!
Jack
Zero
Sparrow.
dies.
Anyway,
Jack Sparrow dies.
No.
Feely is the first to fall.
Never let
I
go,
didn't
Jack.
know that.
Bite your tongue.
I'll never let go.
Cleo hates us right now.
No, I don't hate you. I just think it's hilarious.
No, are you talking about
It's madness setting in.
Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Gotta go right now.
So,
Gennaro, the lawyer,
So-
died.
so poor Feely.
Feely really does, and a lot of
He
the things
just-
that Feely does in this movie are all, in the eyes or, in his
he's-
actions.
His death hit me right in the feely.
Oh my god. It really did.
Hit me right in the feeling.
I saw this pun today. It was, "You're keelying me." I'm really feeling it.
Oh, I love it.
It's the John's done. He's done.
You're
Okay.
feeling it.
So Feely Feely's the first to go. And it's pretty brutal because Azog just drags him out, stabs him in the back, and then that fall is just the worst. And I've seen this movie 4 times, and I get this terrible pit in my stomach every time that scene approaches. I'm just like, I don't want to make me watch it again.
I know, it's awful. It really is.
I think Thorin had the most brutal of the deaths.
I think I'll agree, but in terms of honor and choice, Feely had no choice.
Right.
Feely was stabbed in the back. That is brutal in a different way.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Feely's is a little more brutal than Thorin.
Yeah, he didn't even get a chance, really, to
Feely didn't.
back it off. He just...
Nope.
Yep.
But man, Bolg is one brutish motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I want
Beat
to talk
the
about
shit out of everybody.
why Legolas was able to defeat him when Tauriel couldn't.
Well, because he really did beat him. He used his environment. He couldn't take him head on. He could barely hold a sword strike against him. He couldn't. He really couldn't. I mean, he was outclassed, so he had to outmaneuver him.
I mean, it was
because that's all he had.
Very clever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's why Tauriel had no room to run. Really, she had nowhere to run from him to get away and try to be a little more crafty. So
yeah,
that's why I
think that's why.
To die.
And that's something that I've been wrestling with since I saw it the first time, because technically, the way that Tauriel and Legolas fight are completely different. Their styles are completely different. Tauriel is a killing machine. She is like right to the arteries. You're dead. That's it.
Right.
And Legolas is really froofy and does all these flips and juggles and stuff.
Like the barrel jumping scene.
Yeah, like dwarven barrel riding.
Yeah.
Yeah, like necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in what? That was in Smaug, right? That wasn't in the first one?
That was in Desolation.
Yeah.
The elves, the Mirkwood elves are not in their Unexpected Journey.
Right.
And I've been wrestling for this with this for a long time, because I'm like, Tauriel is technically a better fighter. But Bolg is just a tank. And fighting him like the way Tauriel fights, she was never gonna win.
She can't get a quick kill on him.
You can't get a quick
kill. If she put it this way, she wasn't getting quick kills, she'd have left herself wide open to get smacked.
Which is what happened. He threw her right into the wall.
Right.
Well, she's like an assassin-esque type of fighter. You find a weakness and you go and attack real quick and you're in and out. But when there's really no weakness shown, you're kind of up shit's creek without a paddle.
Definitely.
Right.
You're just going to get beat the hell up.
Yeah. And the only way to beat him was to fight differently, which is the way Legolas fights.
Yeah.
And it's like, because like the first time I saw it, I was like, come on, Tauriel, you're better than this. But then it's like she's literally fighting a tank.
Yeah.
You can't fight it head on. You got to look for the environment to kind of bring the numbers more toward your level.
She was in a terrible environment.
Yep.
But I love how she just muscles him off the cliff, just like boom. She got crafty at the end.
No, she did. I will say she did fight to the bitter end.
Oh yeah.
By no means.
Yeah.
She gave it her all.
And I absolutely love Legolas runs out of arrows and Thorin's about to be killed and he's looking at Orcris like and Thorin gets Orcris back and it's fabulous.
Yep.
I love it.
It's good.
That fight with Azog was insane.
It was. It really was.
Because that was like, it was terrain, and Azog like switched weapons, and then there was Thorin just throws the rock. Steps off the ice.
What was the point of following his corpse through the floating water?
I am so glad you asked that. Does anyone else know?
I was thinking he was looking for a weak point within the water to...
No, I thought he kept on looking and just be like, oh, he's dead.
No, I was thinking maybe to find a weak point to finish him off, but that's just... I don't know.
When he cut off Azog's arm, all those years he assumed Azog was dead. And then he comes back. Now he thinks he's killed Azog. He's like, I need to make sure this bastard is dead for good. That is why. He needed to make sure that he was dead. Yeah. And he got too close.
And spoilers.
And he got stabbed in the foot. Oh, that was so brutal. Oh, God.
It was, but the speech that he gave to Bilbo was even more brutal than the actual murder.
But before we talk about Bilbo, I just need to say that Thorin, like, was just muscling back Azog's weapon. He just lets it. Like, it's a conscious decision. He's like, I know this is gonna kill me, but I can fucking kill him.
But I got him.
Yeah.
So he lets it slide and stabs him in the neck.
Yep.
Oh, and watches, like, just the life drain out of him.
It was a good scene.
Oh.
Gotcha, you bastard.
Yeah.
But he got him too.
And then he just watches the eagles before he collapses.
Yeah. Sadly, he got
Couldn't tell Thorin's my favorite.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
No.
No, I couldn't tell that he was.
Oh,
your
that's
favorite.
awesome.
Yeah.
Who's Thorin?
I didn't even know you had that.
Yeah, which character was Thorin? Was the Sarlacc, right?
Yeah.
You see the fat one?
You know, it's just not
This is Thorin.
important at all.
This is my Thorin.
No, but like that speech that he gave to Bilbo, it was like
It
that also hit me right in the feely.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, good lord.
No, it really did.
It kind of keelied me.
No,
I fucking hate you guys.
I
Just want to make that
was tearing.
That's all
perfectly
my fault.
clear. Cards on the table. Hate you.
That's all my fault.
I was. If it does anything, I was tearing in the theater. So it was sad.
I really
I
feel
cried like a wee bab.
Yeah.
I was tearing. I was like, no.
Oh god.
Yeah. I mean, that was
Pat, you're a
something
fucked up
that
guy.
was something that Richard Armitage, who plays Thorin, said. I was crying.
Yeah.
No, I know. You grow so attached to
You're
these
not.
characters, and then you just hope the best. And
And Thorin and Bilbo's relationship is just like the complete bros.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
like tight.
And what I did not, I mean, I knew what he was saying was things he knew about Bilbo, things he knew Bilbo wanted to go back home and do. But what I didn't realize was he was basically repeating line for line what Bilbo had told him. He's like, I miss my books and my armchair and my garden. He's like, and Thorin said, go back to your books and your armchair, plant your trees, watch them grow.
I know.
It's just-
live.
it's
Like
so-
he's like, just live. I know. You know.
And someone on the internet was just like, he remembered everything. Just, it's too much.
It was really touching. Very touching.
And go play in your gazebo.
Oh, he knew. He knew he was gonna live a long life, and that's what he wanted.
Poor you. Name him Frodo.
Yeah, send your nephew there on his journey.
Well, all right, but then Gandalf completely ruins the moment. He's like, "So, yeah, I'm gonna fill my." pipe
Gandalf
now."
doesn't say a damn thing.
There's nothing to say. There was nothing to say.
There's nothing to say. So he sits there awkwardly with his pipe.
Smoking his hash.
Honestly, after like crying in the theater, to have Gandalf do that made me giggle. Like it was.
I think they
It was
did
just.
a little
I need
bit-
to not feel so shitty right now.
You know what? I think they did that for a little bit of comic relief too. It's like to make you exactly that, make you feel a little lighthearted. It's like after this
Let's break up all these feels.
feelies.
Feelies.
I've had too many feely moments.
Guys, I mean,
John really hates
not-
us.
I love
I'm not
Feely.
gonna
Like
make it.
Feely's great, and
No, I love feelies.
what I want more out of him.
No, Fili and Kili were awesome.
Oh, this is all keeling me right now.
So sorry, everyone. I've done this.
You've done this.
I've done this. It's all my fault.
Sorry,
John
I-
absolutely hates us right now. Absolutely,
John's going to-
definitively hates us.
so anyway,
I
a bunch of
really.
dwarves died, guys.
Sorry,
Thranduil was this character in Desolation of Smaug that I thought was just this asshole. Alright, he's an asshole for no reason, and it was kind of unexpected to get like a little bit of feelings from him.
Yeah.
And how he sort of deals with Legolas before Legolas leaves is sort of just like, your mother loved you. Like, just before his son left, he's like, just to acknowledge that there is, he feels.
Like, just so you know.
He
Yeah, I
feels.
So
know.
you know, I do think about your mother. I'm not a complete asshole.
Like, you
I
think.
love that they put a Strider, an Aragorn reference in there.
I'm not a full asshat. I'm
Yeah,
just
full
semi-asshat.
And I like that he told him to go find Strider in the north.
Yeah. So
Strider.
that
I
was a
love
good
that.
setup. That was a good setup.
I like
And
that.
this is another
Yeah.
timeline issue. Someone on the internet was complaining. They're like, well, at this time in the books, Aragorn is like 10 years old. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Because in the movieverse, the timeline is 17 years off.
Right.
So Aragorn is actually 27 instead of 10.
Yeah.
You know, there's.
Aragorn, is old enough for Legolas to go find him at this point in time.
There's always going to be those, book readers compare completely 100% to the movie and be like, this is wrong, this is not right, no. Like, there's got to be a little change here and there.
Yeah, every single movie to book adaptation that you're gonna find is gonna have some flaw somewhere. So take the first Harry Potter book for example.
Yeah.
They almost transcribed the movie to the book identically.
Yep.
Like to the point that it was like verbatim, and people were unhappy with it because they predicted every single thing the way it was gonna happen. There was no surprises for them.
And
so
I don't
in that case, there's no winning this situation.
Well, they eliminate the whole thing in Sorcerer's Stone, but that's beyond.
Yeah, that's.
But this is a little different because I understand comparing the books to the movies, but it's just something people don't realize is that the timeline is off. Right. So yes, in the books at this time, Aragorn is 10. But in the movies, since the timeline is 17 years off, Aragorn is actually 27.
Right.
So it's not wrong.
Yeah, well, it's not wrong, but the movie took the liberty of changing the timeline. So that's what caused it. So it's the movie changing things.
If anything, it's a testament to Peter Jackson, Philippa Boyens, and whatever the other writers, I forget her name, but that they kept track of their own timeline,
correct,
integrated things from Tolkien's works, but still kept their timeline and their continuity going.
Yes.
I think that's great.
I'm curious if they had like a continuity specialist
on the novel for a reason when they put that in at the end of the credits based on the novel.
Yeah, the 3 and sometimes 4 writers for this are insane. When you look at the extra features, they spend 18 hours a day writing.
Yeah,
there were 4 writers for the movies?
There's 3.
3.
But when Guillermo del Toro was supposed to direct, he helped in the writing. So there were times when there were 4, but the 3 writers, just it is like they do not sleep.
Yeah.
No, I can
months. So they are their own. They know these books by heart. They've read the extra books. They know everything. Like, they're crazy.
So what do you guys think of Bilbo's goodbye?
Yeah. To Bilbo's goodbye to the dwarves. Was anyone else like, Bilbo, please hug the dwarves. Hug them. Hug every one of them.
I was like, come on, really? Like, he was just like, all right, guys.
Well, inadvertently, I could understand because he's like a thief. He's already a thief, so it's like running out like a thief in the night.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, please, at least hug Balin.
Like, your friends.
I mean, after it was revealed that they were all standing there, I was expecting a group hug.
I wanted a group hug so bad.
But
it's been so cute.
The whole come over for tea, and don't bother knocking. That was a lot more suitable, I think, and showed a lot more character development for Bilbo himself.
I still want a group hug.
Well, keep in mind when they first found him to take him on the journey.
Well, feelings, Ball, you don't always get hugs when you want hugs from dwarves.
Well, they did knock.
Yeah.
Don't bother knocking.
They did knock.
That was funny how he tied that up, though.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool if I come here and just make my own food, right? Cool.
Because they did that when they first found Bilbo.
Yeah. And I mean, I think they did it masterfully, but
they did.
In my heart of hearts, I just want a group hug.
Yeah.
That would have. I mean, it would have been cool. I think it would have been neat, but oh well.
Yeah.
They're manly little men.
That was a sad goodbye.
Manly little men.
Gandalf takes Bilbo home. And Bilbo still tries to lie about the ring. And Gandalf's like, bitch, I've known the whole fucking time.
I know.
And that's something I was actually questioning. And I don't know if I mentioned it last year when we did the Desolation of Smaug podcast, but...
No, that was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. But in at the end of An Unexpected Journey, when Bilbo comes out, like, Gandalf gives him a look like, or did you just have a magic ring on your finger? And I wasn't sure whether he knew or was guessing.
Did you just have a magic ring on your finger?
Just his face. Yeah. It was that a magic ring?
Are you just happy to see me?
Or you just
the thing that gets me with like this very long journey home that it took them. You said it took 6 months or whatever for them to take this journey. Why couldn't they just summon one of those crazy falcons and just ride home?
don't get me started on why they can't just call the Eagles. Don't get me started.
Anywhere. I'm like, really? You could have just took that to the town.
Okay, listen. Before Chrissy, don't. I got this. They fucking can't because the Eagles are fucking busy. Okay?
Stop.
What about the snow rabbits?
So the Eagles.
Listen, they have to protect everything in their area. They got no time. They're actually very intelligent beings. They don't talk in the movies, but they talk in the books. They are literally the lords of the sky. They do not. They only come in extreme emergencies. So yeah, you might want to lift home, but fuck you.
So then they never got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
It's bird Jesus. Like you don't ask Jesus for a lift. Basically.
I would.
They've helped a total of 4 times in the last 3,000 years.
I'd ask Jesus for a lift and treat him to a game of skee-ball.
Well, you know, Alanis Morissette.
Take the wheel, Jesus. Take the wheel.
Anyway.
No,
Eagles can't just fly anybody anywhere, is the point.
It makes sense. I get it. Now that you guys explained it, I get it.
And when Bilbo comes home and he's in his empty, ransacked house.
Because everything was sold for auction.
You can take your shit, right?
Yeah, let's just do a clear it. Apparently, because you haven't been here in a year, let's just pawn your house off.
So
You've been assumed dead.
I would have been so pissed.
Yard sale.
It's just funny that he comes back on the day that the auction takes place.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a little too ironic for me.
Convenient, I'd say.
It's a children's book, Dom. What do you want?
It is brutal.
I can't believe it's considered that and how in depth it goes. Kids would be like that.
Kids nowadays, anyway.
That's why I'm reading it to my newborn.
Well, that's because kids nowadays it doesn't have LOL and
Hobbit.
I could see. Oh, when you have your. Oh, you said when you're going to read it to your what?
My kid.
Oh, I thought you said your nephew at first. I was like, oh.
So Cleo's gonna be reading The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit to her child, and I'm gonna be giving my child and I'm gonna be giving my child a Chucky doll for his first teddy bear.
Yeah, so it's just different parenting styles.
Yeah,
It really is. What we have.
Complete opposite ends of the spectrum, actually.
I mean,
Bill, we see him in his empty house. He tries so hard not to put his hand in his pocket and take the ring out.
Yep.
Do you think he senses what's coming, like Thorin?
I think he's like, bitch, let me go get some Tylenol dragon sickness.
Yep. I gotta go to the store and I can't have anybody see me.
Because judging by his behavior at the beginning of the Fellowship, he didn't know back then. I think, and even if he did know, there was so much denial. It was just like, no, it's fine. I just needed to look at it now. That's all.
It seems in this movie that they were alluding to the fact that he knew it was coming, and then he very well may have it by the time of Fellowship, and has forgotten that he's in realization about it.
Yes,
I think
that could be true.
It's not dragon sickness.
Well, yeah.
He falls under the spell of the ring, which is it's different, right?
It's different, but it's essentially the same thing.
Yes, exactly.
Oh God!
But just like Thorin, who had to nurse his grandfather through the dragon sickness, then does not realize what he's doing when he gets it. I think Bilbo sees the signs, but is in this like denial and has this voice in his head like touch the ring.
So the real question out of all of this is the Tylenol dragon sickness brand going to work with the ring brand? Like they're similar symptoms.
I don't think it's compatible.
No.
It's a different strain. It doesn't attack it the right way.
He probably doesn't think yet either, like, the ring, it's not going to affect me that much. He's probably thinking something like that. I need to have it, but I don't, he doesn't think of down the road, like what can happen long term.
No.
Right.
I think he's just like, oh no, I won't get
nothing will happen to me. I'm going to be completely absolved from it. Let me just keep on feeling it for about 6 hours.
For the rest of my life.
And also, at that point, he doesn't know what the ring is. Like, I'm not sure until it's all over Bilbo ever finds out. Well, no, he was at the Council of Elrond in the books.
Yeah.
He knows what it is by that point. But while he has it, I don't think he ever knows exactly what, what...
Yeah. We actually have a viewer in chat right now. Hick64 says, I wish they showed at the end how the elves, humans, and dwarves overcame their differences and shared in the wealth of the mountain and Bilbo's humble share.
Yeah,
yes.
Because that is a big thing in the book, is they all come together.
Yep.
Because Dain takes up the throne in Erebor, and there's this peace between the three people.
Yeah. Yep.
And Dale and Erebor have always been like intertwined. Their success is dependent on each other. The same thing with Mirkwood. Mirkwood needs the trade with Dale and Erebor to function, really.
Yeah. Yep. You told me to just mention at the end the Silmarillion, so I remembered. We were going to talk about the prequel to the prequel.
Yes. Yeah. So the Silmarillion is a collection of stories. Am I frozen?
No.
Okay.
Let it go.
It's a collection of stories, but it is also a work that is not
doing my Let It Go dance.
Huh? Let it go. It's the Tolkien estate will not let it go.
Come on, Tolkien, let it go.
Christopher Tolkien is very against the movies.
Yeah, I've heard this.
He's a bit purist with his father's work, which I'm totally fine with.
How did they wrestle the rights away for the books then?
It was sold a long time. I think it was actually sold before J.R.R. Tolkien's death.
Right. How old are these books? These novels?
50s.
From
The
50s.
Hobbit is older, significantly.
I thought Lord of the Rings 60s.
Hobbit's from the 30s.
Hobbit is...
Hobbit is 30s, you're telling me? Really?
The Hobbits is...
Yeah.
The Hobbits is...
I wish I could even attempt the Schmeagol voice.
I actually am looking for the date for 37.
Okay.
The Hobbit was
that's
published
what
in
it was.
37, and The Lord of the Rings came out in the 50s. I think 51 to 57, maybe? They came out over a long period of time.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't copyrights expire after 75 years?
Well, I mean, the rights to all of Tolkien's works is tied up in the estate.
No, I understand that, but I know recently this came up within the last decade. Something about the rights to Mickey Mouse himself. Like Disney was going to lose the rights to Mickey Mouse because copyright law only instates 75 years.
There is this. I mean, it happened with.
Just renew it.
I don't think it works that way.
But this is the thing. So, like when the Beatles catalog copyright expired, Michael Jackson bought it
Right.
out from under. I think only Paul was really interested in buying it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So he did own the catalog for the Beatles technically for some time. I don't think he does any. I don't think his estate has it anymore, but that can happen.
It would be really funny because enough time has passed that I think that if Paul went and bought up the Michael Jackson song catalog.
It would be pretty funny that he could just cover Billie Jean for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Yes, but
That sounds
He doesn't
to
have
me
enough good songs.
like you need good lawyers to be on the ball when it expires to then snatch it back.
Yeah.
I feel Disney can do that.
I thought it became public domain after that.
I
don't
feel
see.
like
I don't know.
Right.
I'm not in
But
law
music
school.
and writing might be different.
Yeah.
I feel like there's-
Either way, people fans have said there's still a lot of stuff that Peter Jackson can do to make other movies in Middle-earth.
I would love for Peter Jackson to stop with the movies. I want Peter Jackson to do a TV show for Lord of the Rings.
Well, okay, wait.
I don't know.
If we did,
You will end up with more story through a TV show than you would from a movie.
If they did the Children of Hurin in like the style of Game of Thrones, I think that would be fucking perfect, actually.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
This is a story out of the Silmarillion.
What? I didn't even know there was more. I mean, there's an offshoot of the Silmarillion.
Yeah, well, the Silmarillion is a collection of Tolkien's work, like the history of Middle-earth.
Yeah.
So within the history, there's like 20,000 years of stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
And so there are stories that are more in-depth than others. And one of the more in-depth stories is the Children of Hurin. Although that might not be as interesting as Beren and Luthien or the Númenóreans or...
Would they have access to do that, though? Or is that something... So,
No.
yeah, they probably couldn't.
These rights are tied up, and Christopher Tolkien would have to give his okay for it, because he's the head of the estate.
But how do the rights to, like... I know there's the Lord of the Rings online video game and stuff like that, too. Is that all filed into the same thing? Like...
The way they get away with some of this extra stuff is it falls under the realm of the appendices in the Lord of the Rings. The appendices cover a lot of stuff. So, yeah.
Okay.
It probably falls under that.
Yeah.
And that's probably how they got away with Shadow of Mordor, because it's really their own story. So they were just like, well, fuck you, we're just using your universe.
Yeah, I'd like to see a TV show, to be completely honest. I'd like to see it more than I would a movie at this point. If
it was limited, if it didn't go on forever, it needs to have a definite beginning and a definite end, because they can't just dick around and be like, oh, let's renew for 7 more seasons. Like, fucking
exactly.
What? Yeah, it would have to be finite. If they did that,
if they did like a 5-season thing, but if it ended up being popular enough that they wanted to do more, they could do an offshoot story of that, or tell another story instead. You know, so just not have it drag on. But yeah,
as of now, nothing of that sort is going to happen. This is being toted around as the end. The hashtag for the Battle of the Five Armies is one last time.
Yep.
Will you follow me one last time? Yep. And it's very much a close. But then again, I thought that it was over with Return of the King. So nothing's out of the question, but nothing's happening now.
I mean, it's just like those Saw movies. We had Saw 7, the final chapter, and there's rumors springing up right now that Saw 8 is coming out. I'm just saying. No, I'm not. I'm saying closure. That's all I'm comparing.
No, but then Return of the King, though, was the third installment of Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit was the prequel to that. So I could have saw them doing that eventually. But.
Yeah, I'm just saying, when you think something's over, it may not be over, because after Saw 7 came out, there was one of the movies, Insidious. I don't know if it was the first or the second one came out, but there was a picture of like the puppet on a chalkboard behind him with the number 8. So it's like Saw 8, really? So.
I'm not saying that this is definitively the end. I'm saying it's the end for now, and there's no plans of anything in the future.
Only time.
Never say never. Hashtag.
It's the end.
Hashtag believer.
Guys, only time will tell. There you go. Only time will tell.
I hate.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this podcast, as long and fucking bizarre as it was. I just want to say I love The Lord of the Rings so much, and having The Hobbit is just really, really great.
Yeah.
Middle-earth, the whole creation is just so amazing.
And to think, though, that this is also, like, the culmination of where we pull our fantasy from nowadays. Like, a lot of it is borrowed, you know.
Started all of it.
There's some elements from here that were taken from other sources as well, but most fantasy right now is borrowing directly from Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
Before, I mean, Tolkien draws his stuff from mythology, so like
Yep.
Norse and all of that sort of stuff.
Greek.
That's where his stuff comes from.
Yep.
Mhm.
And our modern fantasy comes from Tolkien.
Yep.
So it's all really coming from the same ancient pool of information.
Awesomeness.
Right.
Which just goes to show none of us are very original.
Nope.
But that's
No.
how fantasy works.
But we try.
We try very, very hard. So
Yes.
thank you all so much for watching. Dom, where can the people find you?
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. Do. Yeah, what now?
You did it yourself. I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah, what now?
proud.
What
I
now?
forgot how to do the outro for a second. Pat and Michelle, where can the people find you?
Michelle or
Time
Time
and
and Space.
John.
You can find me killing Dom and Pat for making so many puns. That's it.
You'll have to kill me first because I started it. You can
Nowhere
find
else.
me at Cleomoto, and you can find us and even more at ASO TV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, MySpace, the Spacebook.
Spacebook? Did you just make up a new social media?
You know I did. And
I'm making the profile right now. Hold on.
yeah, go follow us on all those things for more of your favorite movies and TV shows.
Can we also make a new one called My Face?
Yes, Dom's Face.
My Face in Spacebook.
Find us on Dom's face.
Bye, guys. Thanks for putting up with this 2-hour podcast.
Bye, Middle Earth.
Wow.
I just chugged the last of my Tylenol dragon sickness.
I have to wash my beard off.